So you're using Monday.com. You know it can be a really powerful tool, right? But let's be honest, are you really getting your money's worth? In this explainer, we're going to show you how to unlock the full potential of your subscription and turn it from just another task list into a real deal work engine.
Okay, let's start with a number that might actually shock you. Most teams only use about 20% of what Monday.com is actually capable of. And what that means is, for a lot of people, it just becomes this really expensive, glorified checklist, while all its best features are just sitting there collecting dust.
So, are you ready to tap into that other 80%? Awesome. We're about to walk through a really simple, practical framework to do exactly that. All right, first things first, and this is a big one. It's a fundamental shift in how you think. You have to start with your real-world problems, not with the platform's shiny features. This is, hands down, the biggest mistake most teams make.
And this slide right here shows the difference perfectly. The wrong way is logging in and thinking, what can I do with all these cool features? But the right way is to step back and ask, what specific process in our business is causing chaos, and how can this tool fix that?
So what are those problems? Well, they're usually things like, messy project tracking where nobody knows who owns what, or maybe your client onboarding is just all over the place. The key is to pick one or two areas that are causing you genuine pain. Remember, the goal here is to replace chaos, not just to add another tool to your plate.
Once you've got your problem picked out, the next step is absolutely crucial. You need to build a system that reflects how your team actually works, not how you think it should work in a perfect world.
This is a perfect example of a simple, reality-based workflow. Use the groups on your board to represent the actual stages of your work. It doesn't matter if it's a content pipeline or a development sprint, the group should tell a clear story of an item's journey from beginning to end.
Now let's talk columns. Here's a rule of thumb. Every single column has to earn its spot by answering a critical question at a glance. Who's responsible for this? When does it due? What's its status? You have to resist that urge to add columns just because you can. Keep it clean and keep it purposeful.
Now let's talk about what is probably your most powerful column, the status column. It shouldn't just be a pretty color. It has to be a powerful signal. Limit your options to maybe 5 or 6 super clear choices like stuck or waiting for feedback. Because when you use these consistently, these statuses become the fuel for literally everything else.
And having that solid foundation is what lets you get to the good stuff, automating and analyzing. This is where the real payoff begins. This is where you leverage automations and dashboards to save huge amounts of time and get incredible insights.
I absolutely love this quote because it is 100% true. Automation is that moment when your platform transforms from a passive tool that you have to constantly update into an active assistant that actually works for you.
And look, it doesn't have to be complicated. Just look at this simple recipe. When a status changes to something, an action happens. That's it. A single automation like this one can save you countless manual handoffs and follow-up messages. Just start with 1 or 2 on each board, and you will be amazed at the time you get back.
This leads us to a really critical distinction. Your team, they live on the boards. That's where they're doing the work. But as a manager or a leader, you need to live in the dashboards to understand the work and see that bigger picture.
A well-built dashboard instantly answers your most pressing questions. First up, who's overloaded? A simple chart can show you this in seconds, letting you rebalance the workload before anyone burns out. Next question, what's overdue? Instead of digging through 10 different boards, a dashboard can pull all overdue items into one single view, giving you immediate visibility into what needs your attention right now.
And maybe most importantly, where are we getting stuck? By tracking how long items sit in a certain status, you can start to spot bottlenecks and actually fix the root problems that are slowing your entire team down.
Okay, so building a great system is one thing, but getting your team to actually use it consistently, well, that's a whole other challenge. So let's talk about how to make this system stick and get people on board.
A huge part of getting people to adopt a new tool is just reducing friction. So integrate Monday.com with the tools your team already lives in every day, like Slack or Google Drive. This means less jumping between apps, and it makes using Monday.com feel like a natural part of their workflow, not just another chore.
And please, don't assume everyone just magically gets the system you built. Create a short video or a simple document that explains your team's rules, like what each status means or when to use comments. This creates alignment, and it prevents things from getting messy down the line.
And finally, just remember that your work is always changing, so your workspace should change with it. Every few months, just do a quick cleanup, archive old boards, get rid of columns nobody's using, and simplify your automations. A clean workspace is an effective one.
This brings us all the way back around to our final and maybe most important point. How do you know if any of this is actually working? Well, you have to measure what really matters. See, the goal isn't to have the most boards or the most automations. That's just measuring activity. The real goal is to achieve better outcomes. Are you missing fewer deadlines? That's the metric that actually moves the needle.
This is what real success looks like. It means less time spent in meetings asking for status updates because the information is just there. It's having crystal clear ownership so nothing ever falls through the cracks. These are the real-world results you should be aiming for.
So let's end with one simple question. Forget about trying to overhaul everything all at once. What's the one process, the one little point of friction in your team's workflow that you could fix this week using these ideas? Start there, and you'll be well on your way to unlocking that other 80%.